South Africa, geographically, it's very poorly located. So it is definitely not a global hub. And we just can't really get the economies of scale that a lot of carriers, particularly in Middle East and Central Europe, can get. So if you look at Turkish Airlines and the phenomenal network, Turkish Airlines is the best located airline in the world. And you hear a lot about Emirates, but people don't realize how phenomenally big Turkish Airlines is. It serves about 45 points in Africa. Emirates only serves about 20. So Turkish Airlines is taking over the world. And it's got the economies of scale and the opportunity in terms of its location to really get the maximum efficiency out of its fleet and to invest in everything that it could possibly need. So cost per seat on either Emirates or Turkish Airlines or Etihad or Qatar, typically the cost per seat is just way lower than airlines in the more remote parts of the world could ever achieve. Now that's got nothing to do with SAA. It's simply a matter of how close you are to a global hub and therefore how big you can get and how much economy of scale you can achieve and how successful you can be and therefore how much you can reinvest into the most efficient aircraft, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the first point, and that as long as we're protecting SAA, we're basically giving all the foreign carriers a boost to their profits because SAA is forced to price up because of its inefficiency, and therefore all the foreign guys say, oh, this is wonderful. Look at what we can charge to South Africa because SAA can't drop their prices to really competitive prices. So I had big complaints from investment analysts during last week who fly out of Cape Town to London. And the cheapest ticket they could get on 1 week's notice was 31,000 Rand return. Part of it is the fact that, yes, their pricing is being supported by inefficiency in SAA. But the second big issue is that because SAA is being protected by government and we've got these bilateral agreements between countries as to how much capacity can fly in each direction, the government will not allow more foreign capacity into South Africa unless South African Airways can actually make use of more capacity out of South Africa. And obviously, SAA can't put more flights into, for example, the UK, and therefore the South African government says, okay, no more UK flights into South Africa. And therefore, you've only got 2 BA flights going into Cape Town now, and they're charging astronomical prices. Emirates has been told they're not getting any more capacity into South Africa. Now, is it a good thing, is it a bad thing? It's a good thing if you're trying to protect SAA. It's a terrible thing if you're a South African consumer who could benefit from much cheaper flights with more capacity coming into the country. It's a bad thing if the capacity was open and Turkish Airlines could get equal capacity to Emirates, and then you'd have a real price war between Turkish and Emirates. And you can imagine how cheap it would be to fly in and out of South Africa then. So at the end of the day, is there a real benefit to creating all of this protection for SAA's international routes at the detriment of the consumer because we're not allowing the foreign carriers into the country who would create a huge amount of competition, more capacity into the market, et cetera, more tourism, et cetera. But again, it's this big problem of who's going to take the big picture view across the entire South African economic requirements. Because you've still got the situation right now with the Department of Transport fighting with Treasury, who owns SAA, fighting with the Department of Home Affairs, who's got the visa regulations in place, fighting with poor old Derek Hanekom, who's trying to make all of this stuff work for tourism. And all these policies are in complete conflict with each other. But what's in the best interest of the country? You're not allowed to come and produce cars in South Africa because we want to build our own cars. We don't have our own shipping company, national shipping company. Whoever wants to bring ships into South Africa and bring goods into South Africa can bring goods into South Africa. And the more people who do it, the lower the prices are for shipping. And yet we protect this national airline, which just drives up cost.